Well, today we're going to be looking at the latest offering from Xtra. It is the Xtra Atto. Is it a DJI Nano in disguise? Let's talk about it. And by the way, quick little disclaimer, Xtra, they did sponsor this video, but they did not tell me what to say, so I'm free to say whatever I want, so take that as you will, but as you know, I'll always give you my honest opinion about a product. So let's talk about what this camera is all about. It's a small, lightweight camera coming in at only 54 grams for the camera module, and it also has a vision dock with a touchscreen to navigate the menu system and to kind of frame up your shots. It uses a 1/1.3 image sensor, which can record 4K at 60 frames per second or slow motion footage at 4K 120 frames per second. Has the ability to record with just a nod of your head if it's mounted on your hat, or a tap of the camera to start recording. Included in the box is a protective case, a hat clip, a wind chill suction cup, which I think is great, a USB Type-C to a USB Type-C for charging, and a magnetic pendant for mounting to your chest. It also has 128 gigabytes of built-in storage, keeping in mind that only 107 gigabytes is usable, and it can accept a micro SD card to expand your storage. Its camera module is waterproof to 10 meters or 33 feet, and the vision dock is not waterproof. Has image stabilization, which Xtra calls Motion Master, and it also has tilt guard for a stable horizon. Shoots in a normal 8-bit color, normal 10-bit color, or they have their X-Log 10-bit, which is a flat color profile for those that like to do their own color grading. Now, this camera does not have a dedicated night mode when compared to the DJI Osmo Nano with its super night, but side by side, as you can see, the Atto actually holds up quite well in low light scenarios. Okay, using the Xtra Atto in my truck to see how it does as a vlogging camera if you're inside the vehicle. Quick little audio test with the Atto 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, if there's one thing that I wish that Xtra would do with the Xtra Muse, the Xtra Edge Pro, and this Xtra Atto is add the ability to connect a wireless microphone. I got to do a little update because Xtra, they did do a firmware update to address the wireless microphone situation. I'll put a link to that video up here that I did a couple of weeks ago to let everybody know that if you have an Xtra product, whether it's the Atto, the Sphere 360, the Xtra Muse, or the Xtra Edge Pro, you can now connect a DJI wireless microphone to it. And I do like these little wireless mic minis from DJI because they're only $25. But yeah, that problem has been fixed and addressed. So back onto the review. You know, I've got to say, when it comes to using the Xtra Atto, I've actually used it a lot more than what I thought I would. Because, you know, I do have the DJI Osmo Nano, which is basically like the Atto, but with a couple little differences. But, you know, I just found that the Atto just, something about it I like a little bit better than the DJI Nano. And for its size, for its versatility, the fact that it's magnetic and you can hook it up to the most precarious situations, whether it's on the side of an e-bike or whatever the case may be, you've got a lot of versatility with this camera. The battery life is outstanding on it, and you're getting really nice 4K image. These are all really cool things about this camera. I want to talk about the X-Log. And having log footage can be very advantageous, especially if you like to color grade. Now, whether you're doing your own color grade or you're slapping a LUT on it, it doesn't really matter. For me, I really like orange and teal. It's just a look I like, or I can do a Western look, and those look nice too. It just depends on your personal preference. But the thing is, having 10-bit in a log format gives you a little bit more dynamic range so that you can play with the colors just a little bit more than what you could just in regular normal 10-bit. If you found any of this video helpful, and if you like honest reviews that will help you save your money to let you know if a product is worth it or not, consider subscribing, because that's all I do here on the channel. Now, I've had this camera for quite a while because I wanted to be able to kind of put it through its paces and see what it's really capable of. So let's talk about some of the pros and cons of this Xtra Atto. First off, it's lightweight. Coming in at 54 grams for just a camera module, this is hardly anything at all. I mean, when you think about how small that this is. And it also has very nice image quality coming out of the camera. 4K 30 frames per second, 4K 60 frames per second, or you can have 4K at 120 frames per second, but there's no stabilization at that 4K 120. Now you have the ability to hook up a wireless microphone. You know, I've said it before in videos, and it's one thing I wish that Xtra had added before with the Xtra Muse or the Xtra Edge Pro or the Sphere 360, but now with the Atto and all of the other cameras, DJI Mic Mini, that's only 25 bucks, by the way. Hooks up to it and you get great audio, as you heard earlier in the video. And that suction cup has come in handy unbelievably. I mean, considering that it's just for the camera module, at least that's what I would use it for, because the suction cup is kind of small, but it hooks up to the windshield and there is no worries about it coming loose at all. You got X-Log for color grading, and a flat color profile for those of you out there that like to color grade is something nice, because it does give you a true flat color profile, but still 10-bit color. So that 10-bit gives you billions of colors that you can kind of push and move around. It's got fast charging, so if you're out on the run, you got no problem, especially if you have a little external power bank that you can just keep this thing topped off. And it's got this vision dock for framing up your shots, which makes it really nice, because if you want to be able to hook this up like I was saying in your vehicle, and which is what I was doing, put it up on a windshield, I could take a look at the vision dock, see how the framing was, if it was just the way that I wanted, and that is a nice thing to have. And being touchscreen as well is also very, very nice. Now, let's talk about some of the cons of the Xtra Atto. I guess the first one I'm going to talk about is a non-replaceable lens. Even though I've tried to tinker with it a little bit just to see if I could get this lens to come off, I cannot. Where on the DJI Nano, that lens does screw off, so if for some reason you were to damage it, you could replace it on the DJI Nano, but not on the Xtra, which also limits your ability to be able to have ND filters for it. Very slow offload speeds, and so everything gets recorded into the internal memory, not onto the SD card. It goes onto the internal memory first, and then you've got two choices. You can either take the USB-C, plug it into your computer and offload, and you're getting around 30 megabytes per second of transfer speeds. Or you can take it from the internal memory and offload it onto the SD card, which is just about the same amount of speed between the internal memory to SD or internal memory into your computer. So the offload speed is a bit slow. Now, the screen on the vision dock, I was just talking about how nice it is when you're using it for framing, but if you have a wireless microphone hooked up to it, it turns off the screen. It still gives you all the information on the screen and it gives you the audio bar, but it does not let you see the image on the screen, and that's something that the Nano suffers from also. Now we're going to talk about this mysterious battery drain situation. So ever since they did the last update for the firmware to add a wireless microphone to it, you can have both of these charged up. You wait about 12 hours or so, you turn it back on, and what it will read, it will tell you that it's only got 75% battery in the camera module and, you know, maybe 85% in the vision dock, where the Osmo Nano does not suffer from that issue. So I'm sure that it's just a firmware situation that Xtra has to address and tweak it. If they do, I will do an update video on it. Otherwise, when it's on sale for like $299, $269 I've seen it for, I really think that it's a great buy, considering everything that you get with it, considering it's just like the Nano, but when you see that it's priced right now at $499, and I don't know what's going on with the pricing, because the pricing kind of fluctuates on all of Xtra's products. At $499, I say no, it's not worth it. At $299 or $269, absolutely. I mean, it's a competitor to DJI. Who knows what's going to happen with DJI? Are they going to be available here in the States? Will that supply eventually run out? We don't know. So yeah, good job Xtra on the Atto. I'll put product links down in the description below so that you guys can check it out for yourself, and I'll catch you in the next review. Bye-bye.